I was approached to talk about Veterans Affairs and to get out the word to the veterans. It's important come November that we elect Obama as our president and Joe Biden as our vice president. Just a few things I would like to say about that. Polls have recently come out to show that there are still some Americans who aren't sure just who they're going to vote for. But when you look at the record, it's pretty clear who veterans are going to vote for. We really only have one choice, and that should be the Obama-Biden ticket. We veterans can't afford another Walter Reed disaster. We veterans can't afford further cuts in our health benefits. In 2007, the Bush administration produced a budget that called for veterans' health care funding be cut by $10 billion over the next 5 years. It's almost obscene. During this time, also, President Bush called for veterans to pay a $250 user fee every time they went for medical help, and doubled all veterans' drug prescription co-payments. He also called for retired veterans under 65 to have their fees tripled, which would cost veterans in 1 year an additional $735 million. This total disregard for veterans by the Bush administration has led to an average of 18 vets killing themselves every day because they see no hope. This disregard has led to an estimated 300,000 veterans suffering from and not receiving help and treatment for post-stress disorder. This neglect of veterans led Bob Hardy, head of the Veterans United for Truth to say, what I would like to see from the VA is that they actually treat patients with respect. In 2006, a returning soldier suffering from PTSD has an average wait for help, if he gets it, of 165 days. Folks, they don't have days, let alone 165. And if a doctor fails to say that you have that problem, you can petition for another hearing. That petition will take 3 years. And it's not just current vets that have problems. Vets from Vietnam War still have the same PTSD problems, which has led to well over 20,000 suicides of Vietnam vets. In fact, I want to read just an email I got about a year ago that I read to my students at Bloomfield College, and it bothers them, and it should. It's about a Marine, Jonathan Schultz. At first, Jonathan Schultz tried to live with the nightmares and the grief he brought home from Iraq. He was a tough kid from central Minnesota, and more than that, a U.S. Marine to the core. Yet his mood when he returned home told another story. He sobbed on his parents' couch, and he told them how fellow Marines had died and how he machine gunned and killed people. In his sleep, he screamed the names of his dead comrades. He had visited a psychiatrist in the VA hospital in Minneapolis. 2 weeks later, even though he didn't receive any help, he went to the VA hospital in St. Cloud. He told a staff member he was thinking of killing himself and asked to be admitted to the mental health unit. He was denied. They said that he was 26th on the list, not telling him when he ever would get help. He went home. 4 days later, he shot himself. That's not bad enough. And I can't understand this, so I'm not going to try to. And in an 2005 interview with the Wall Street Journal, Pentagon official David Chu stated that funding for veteran programs are hurtful to national security. Sure, I would like to tell Mr. Chu, I don't know of any veterans who were terrorists. As stated in the Political Affairs magazine titled Veterans Benefits, Hurtful to National Security, it mentions that compassionate conservative Republicans have chosen to start a war between the taxpayers of America and saying that national security comes first, not the health and benefits of those who provided for national security. What about John McCain, though? He's one of us. When the Senate was to vote on the GI Bill, the new GI Bill, to increase veteran educational benefits for soldiers who entered the military following September 11th, he did not cast the vote. He was AWOL. Yet, Senator Obama took time out to be there to show support, to make sure our country continued its commitment to its veterans, and he voted yes on the bill. And that bill had bipartisan support, not only from leading Democrats, one of them being our own Senator Lautenberg, but Republican Hagel as well. He also was voted with the Bush administration in cutting benefits to GIs, and only on 20% of all bills dealing with GI benefits has John McCain voted in favor of the GI. Senator Obama has voted 80% of the time to help American veterans. John Dean has said, while Senator McCain talks about supporting our troops and veterans on the campaign trail, his real record tells a much different story. While we honor his service to our country, and we should, Senator McCain double-talked on veteran benefits. Is one more reason he is wrong choice for Americans and he's wrong choice for veterans. And in closing, I would just like to say, as veterans, we shouldn't question Senator McCain's loyalty to his country and his commitment to our national security. But as veterans, we have a right to question him why he has turned his back on us, why he constantly votes to cut our benefits, why he refused to vote on the GI Bill, why he no longer cares about veterans, something he should never do in his whole life. And when our country is called upon us, veterans, to provide national security, we all took that one step forward. Now we're asking our government to help us. The Bush administration has taken one step backwards. We've got to go and vote, folks. We've got to make sure it's Obama-Biden.